गुड मॉर्निंग स्टूडेंट्स। आज के इस क्लास में इस लेक्चर में हम लोग ह्यूमन एक्सक्रीटरी सिस्टम की स्टडी करते हैं। ह्यूमन एक्सक्रीटरी सिस्टम के अंदर सबसे पहले हम लोग इसके डिफरेंट पार्ट्स को पढ़ेंगे एंड देन वी विल स्टडी अबाउट द इंटरनल स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ किडनी। एट फर्स्ट द क्वेश्चन अराइजेज हियर, व्हाट इज एक्सक्रीशन? एक्सक्रीशन क्या है? तो आपको याद रखना होगा, excretion is the removal of toxic substances, mostly the nitrogenous waste substances, which are formed during the metabolic activities in the body. तो बॉडी के अंदर मेटाबॉलिक एक्टिविटीज के अंदर जितने भी वेस्ट मटेरियल्स का फॉर्मेशन होता है, अगर वो हमारे शरीर में एक्यूमुलेट कर जाए तो हमारे शरीर की जो डिफरेंट मेटाबॉलिक एक्टिविटीज है वो डिस्टर्ब हो जाएंगे, हमारा बॉडी प्रॉपरली काम नहीं करेगा और ये फैटल भी हो सकता है उस समय पे। इसलिए एक्सक्रीशन इज वेरी नेसेसरी। इफ नाइट्रोजनस सब्सटेंसेस, द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट नाइट्रोजनस सब्सटेंस इन आवर बॉडी इज द यूरिया. So if urea accumulates in the body, then it causes even the death of the person, and therefore it is necessary to remove from the body. तो ये हम लोगों ने समझ लिया कि इसकी क्या इंपॉर्टेंस है। आपको याद रखना है कि ह्यूमन बीइंग्स आर यूरियोटेलिक एनिमल बिकॉज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट नाइट्रोजनस वेस्ट which is removed from our body is the urea, and therefore we are ureotelic. Now the human excretory system includes two bean-shaped kidneys, ureters, urinary bladder and urethra. So these are the four major parts of excretory system or urinary system. It is better to say this diagram is of urinary system because excretion also includes removal of CO2 and water which are formed during the process of respiration, as well as some sodium salts, potassium salts are also removed from the body, and therefore these are also included in the excretory system, and therefore here urine is formed in the kidneys, means filtration of blood takes place in the kidneys, and therefore it is better to say urinary system. So urinary system includes these two kidney-shaped structures, bean-shaped structures which are known as kidney, and these kidney are about 10 centimeter long. It is about 10 centimeter long and 6 centimeter wide in an adult human being. These are red-brown in color, and these kidneys are located in the upper abdominal cavity on either sides of vertebral column, means backbone. Here you can observe that this is the right kidney, this one is the left kidney. So right kidney is slightly lower than left kidney. What is its reason? आप यहाँ देख रहे हैं कि राइट किडनी जो है ये राइट किडनी है और राइट किडनी थोड़ा सा नीचे की तरफ है लेफ्ट किडनी के कंपेरिजन में। तो इसका क्या रीजन है? राइट किडनी इज स्लाइटली लोअर देन लेफ्ट किडनी. व्हाट इज इट्स रीजन? ये जानना बहुत जरूरी है. टू एकोमोडेट और एडजस्ट लीवर इन द अपर राइट एब्डोमिनल कैविटी, द राइट किडनी इज स्लाइटली लोअर देन लेफ्ट किडनी. इसे आप जरूर से याद रखेंगे. अब हम लोग देख रहे हैं कि these two structures which are blood vessels. So it is the vein. Which type of vein? it is posterior vena cava, posterior vena cava, and this one is posterior aorta. So posterior aorta carries oxygenated blood but impure blood to the kidneys for its filtration. So posterior aorta is the part of aorta which supplies blood to the lower parts of the body which are located below the heart. And this one is posterior vena cava. So posterior vena cava carries blood from different parts of the body which are located below the heart to the right atrium of the heart. This structure of means outer surfaces, there are two outer surfaces of kidney. Here you can see it is the convex surface and this one is the concave surface. So in the middle of concave surfaces of each kidney, these structures are known as hilum or hilus. It is known as hilum or hilus. This structure is known as hilum or hilus. What is the function of hilus? तो हाइलस क्या करता है कि जो भी ब्लड वेसल्स जैसे इंटर कर रहे हैं यहाँ पे किडनी में या फिर ये यूरेटर इससे बाहर निकल रहा है तो इसके लिए प्रॉपर प्लेटफॉर्म प्रोवाइड करता है. मीन्स द हाइलस और हाइलम हेल्प्स इन entry and exit of different blood vessels, nerves, ureters, etc. So hilus is very important here. And here you can see this red colored structure is known as renal artery. So renal artery carries oxygenated but impure blood to each kidney. And it is called as renal vein. Renal means associated with kidney. Renal vein, and this renal vein helps in carrying deoxygenated but pure blood from kidney to the posterior vena cava so that it can be carried to the heart, and it is poured in the means the blood is poured in the right auricle of the heart. So in this way blood can be supplied. Now the kidney after filtration of blood means urine formation takes place here, and this urine is carried by means of ducts, and these ducts are known as ureter. So ureter, these are the two ureters which are coming from each kidney, and they carries urine from kidney to a bag-like structure, and this bag-like structure is known as urinary bladder. Urinary bladder. So in the urinary bladder, urine is deposited for some time, and after filling a 2/3 part of the urinary bladder, there is a signal comes from the brain, and under this influence it removes urine outside of the body, which is known as micturition or urination. Here you can see these are the muscles, and these muscles are known as sphincter muscle. It regulates opening and closing of urethra when urination takes place, and this structure is known as urethra. So in this way, kidneys, ureters, urinary bladder and urethra play important roles during the formation of urine and its removal. in this way. These are the different parts you have studied, and kidneys are very important because filtration of blood takes place here. It also helps in formation of homeostasis as well as osmoregulation. We will discuss about the functions of kidney in the next classes. Now here you can see it is LS of kidney. LS means longitudinal section. Longitudinal section of kidney. It shows internal structures. It shows internal structures of kidney. This part is known as renal capsule. Renal capsule. Capsule means it is a structure which has two layers, and it is two membranous structure, and it covers the kidney. It protects the kidney from external injuries as well as mechanical shock. The kidney can be divided into two parts. These are the outer part, which is known as, this one is outer part, which is known as renal cortex. It is outer part, outer portion, and it has dotted appearance. It has dotted appearance. These are the dots. It has dotted appearance due to presence of Bowman's capsule, which is the first part of nephron, and here this structure is known as renal medulla. Renal medulla is the inner portion. आपको हमेशा याद रखना है कि किसी भी ऑर्गन का जो आउटर पोर्शन होता है उसे हम कॉर्टेक्स कहते हैं और इनर पोर्शन को हम लोग मेडुला कहते हैं। अब यहाँ पे किडनी के आउटर और इनर पोर्शन की बात है, तो किडनी को हम लोग रीनल कहेंगे और आउटर पोर्शन को हम लोग कहेंगे रीनल कॉर्टेक्स और इनर पोर्शन ऑफ किडनी को कहेंगे रीनल मेडुला। ये हमेशा आपको याद रखना है। अब हम लोग देखते हैं कि आउटर पोर्शन में तो रीनल कॉर्टेक्स में वोमेन्स कैप्सूल होता है, जिसकी वजह से ये डॉटेड अपीयरेंस को शो करता है, और जो इनर पोर्शन है विच इज नॉन एज रीनल मेडुला, इट हैज स्ट्राइप्ड और स्टेलेटेड structures or appearance due to the presence of renal pyramids or medullary pyramids. And renal or medullary pyramids contains collecting ducts as well as the Henle's loop of nephrons. We will discuss in the next class. So here, this structure are these structures are medullary. Here, these structures are known as renal or medullary pyramids. These are conical pyramid-like structures, and therefore it is known as renal or medullary pyramids. Renal or medullary pyramids. These are conical. And here this structure, which is here green in color, it is known as calyx. C-A-L-Y-X. Calyx means here the apical part of each pyramidal structures. Each pyramidal structure has some pointed apex, and these apex are known as calyx. Now, this structure, which is funnel-shaped or somewhat expanded part of the ureter, is known as pelvis. So, pelvis collects urine which are formed in the cortical part of the kidney as well as in the medullary part, and after the pyramids, these are poured in pelvis drop by drop. And in this way, pelvis helps in collecting the urine from the medullary part of the kidney. Mostly here you can say pyramids. Now, these structures are known as ureter and it is the part which it is the narrow part which is formed after the pelvis, means pelvis becomes narrow and form ureter. Ureter carries urine from the kidney to the urinary bladder. तो आप यहाँ पे समझ गए होंगे कि ये जो समवॉट एक्सपेंडेड पार्ट है जिसको कि हम लोग फनल शेप्ड स्ट्रक्चर भी कह सकते हैं, ये पेल्विस है और पेल्विस आगे चल करके नैरो हो जाता है और ये हाइलम से, किडनी का जो हाइलम है उससे बाहर निकल करके ये डक्ट लाइक स्ट्रक्चर बनाता है और ये डक्ट लाइक स्ट्रक्चर यूरिन को किडनी से यूरिनरी ब्लैडर में कैरी करता है. Now these structures here, these structures are also the cortical parts, means between the pyramids, the column-like structures is also known as cortex, means it is cortex part, and these cortical structures are known as column of Bertini. So it is called as column or Bertini, or you can say renal columns. Renal columns. So renal columns are located between the pyramids. There are a number of pyramids are located here, and between these pyramids, these structures are known as columns of Bertini, or you can say renal columns, or you can also say medullary columns. Bertini was the scientist who discussed about this, who invented the functions of the columns and its structure, and therefore it is known as column of Bertini on the name of the scientist. Now, in the LS of kidney, these structures are very important, you have studied. And here, the outer part of the kidney, which is known as renal cortex, it is dark red in color. Means it is darker in color. As you know, kidneys are red-brown in color, and therefore it is darker. And the medullary part, means medulla, renal medulla, is lighter in color. So on the basis of these colors, we can distinguish renal cortex as well as renal medulla. And on the basis of their appearance, also we can say the renal cortex has dotted appearance due to presence of Bowman's capsule, and the inner portion, means renal medulla, has striped appearance due to the presence of Henle's loop and collecting ducts in the medullary part, which is here conical pyramid shaped structures. So the kidneys structure, internal structure, as well as here the structure of external structure of human excretory system we have. Now this kidney is made up of nephrons. It means nephrons are the structural and functional units of kidneys. Each kidney contains about 1 million nephrons per kidney. Means each kidney contains 1 million nephrons. It means we have 2 nephrons, as we have 2 kidneys, and the kidneys are made up of nephrons. It means it is the structure. It is the structural unit, and again nephrons perform the functions of kidneys, and therefore nephrons are the functional unit of kidneys. So structural as well as functional units of kidneys are the nephrons. Now the next part is study of nephron, means structure as well as function of nephron. We will discuss in the next lecture.